Hi all. Can you just let me know if I'm audible? In the chat box, you can let me know if I'm audible. Just put yes. If I'm audible, just put yes in the chat box. Okay, so I hope I'm audible and we will start with the webinar now. So good afternoon all. Last few days in the market has been a roller coaster ride with 900 points drop in Nifty and 4,000 plus points drop in Bank Nifty from top. So you also must have a lot of questions in mind. Where will the selling stop? What to do at this level, long or short, correct? Exactly, that's why we have come up with today's webinar. The topic for the webinar is Trading Talks, Exploring F&O Trends and Research Strategies. My name is Sonali Palande. I work as a derivative product strategist and I will be the host for today's webinar. Before revealing the speaker details, let me read a small disclaimer for you all. The content and explanations shared in this webinar are only for the information and educational purpose. Stock market trading investments are subject to market risk. Please consult your financial advisor before making financial decisions. So, we have a special speaker today, Mr. Devarsh Vakil. He is a deputy head of retail research and has 2 decades of rich market experience. So in today's webinar, we are going to discuss current market scenario, what to expect in next few days. And of course, at the end, Devarshji will share some F&O trading strategies and opportunities that we can deploy in next few days in the market. So Devarshji, let's begin the discussion and let's hit the bull's eye with the first question itself. We saw an enormous upside rally in last 1 month, but now the momentum is broken with significant drop from the top. So now what to expect in next 8 to 10 days? आपको market क्या लगता है sir?
Thank you, Sonali, for having me for this webinar. Yeah, so is my screen visible?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Because I'm actually, I hope you can see the second screen where Nifty and Bank Nifty open interest analysis is there on the screen.
Not yet, sir.
Okay, because it is frozen here. Omkar, can you give me rights? I'm not able to present.
Sir, you have the rights. I can see your screen as well.
Okay. So that is a frozen screen. I'm changing the screens again. Can you just restart the rights once again, please?
Now it's all right, sir.
Am I audible, friends? Sonali?
Yes, yes, sir. All good.
And screen is there, right? Open interest analysis
Yes.
is visible.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So sorry for the technical glitch. I'm traveling and the internet connectivity is little patchy. But so to answer Sonali's question, market kya lagta hai? So I'll start with the open interest analysis. What we have seen this week and this month in this expiry, about 20% rise in the open interest in Nifty, falling by 2%, as well as 60% rise in the Bank Nifty, and Bank Nifty has gone down by 8%. So clearly some short buildup is there in the indices right now. Now let's see where the open interest buildup has happened. So calls have been written around 21,700 and 22,000 levels. a large amount of open interest is visible there. And on the put side, we can see the open interest at 20,800 and 21,000 levels. So clearly 22,000 is the level where which we can see a lot of resistance coming in. From technical perspective, if you see, after seeing a bearish engulfing candle and a broadening triangle formation, the market has entered a little bit of a short-term downtrend. Today we saw some pullback, but we feel that the strategy is right now is to sell on rallies and wait for market to come down to support levels. Now, similarly, like Nifty, we have seen call writing around 46, 45, 500 in Bank Nifty as well, and put writing at a lower level around 44,000, 44,500 levels. Now, if we see the charts also indicate around 44,000, 44,000 levels. We 43,700, 44,000 levels. Strong support coming in after a bearish reversal. So we feel that the markets right now are on a sell on rallies mode. Whenever we see short covering rallies like the one which we have seen now, it is better to lighten up the long leverage long positions and at higher level uh, wait for market to cross the higher level before becoming bullish. Our strategy will be to sell on rallies right now. So for next 8 to 10 days, Sonali, it is better to be safe than sorry.
Sure, right, sir. Any specific sector that contributed more to this fall?
Yes. So real estate reality stocks are the biggest underperformer right now. They have gone down from January 16 high, which we saw, till today's low. Real estate is the sector where we have to be a little cautious. The other sectors which are underperforming are banking, and right now it is better to hide into IT and FMCG kind of sectors. That's where we have seen the least amount of damage. So there could be 1 or 2 days of short covering in consumer durables and metals. There are talks of some stimulus package coming out of China, so that may support metal as a sector. So we will avoid metal for now. But real estate and banking is the sectors where we will adopt sell on rallies kind of strategies, and we will hide in IT and healthcare in times to come.
All right, so realty and BankX are the culprits of this fall. So हमने निफ्टी के लेवल्स देख लिए और प्रोमिनेंट सेक्टर जिसने फॉल दिखाया वो देख लिया, बट अगर हम निफ्टी, बैंक निफ्टी या फिन निफ्टी के बारे में बात करेंगे सर, तो ऐसे कौन से लेवल्स है which are significant support and resistances in these indices, which traders should keep in mind?
Right. So 46,000 to 46,500 is the level which is very important resistance for Bank Nifty. At that level, we will turn little cautious. At lower levels in the February series, around 44,000 to 44,500, we are likely to find very strong support. For Nifty, 20,800 to 21,000 is the good support levels. That's where we will turn bullish. While 21,700 to 22,000 is the level where we can see market turning again bearish after a recent rally. So around 21,700 we should turn cautious in the February series.
Okay. सो देवर्ष जी, अभी बजट को ज्यादा टाइम बचा नहीं है और मार्केट में इतनी सारी वॉलेटिलिटी देखने को मिल रही है, सो शुड वी कनेक्ट दिस वॉलेटिलिटी समहाउ टू द बजट? व्हाट डू यू थिंक?
Right, that's a very good question. So on the budget, we have seen the history, and it seems that the before the budget, 1 month before the budget and 1 day before the budget, the volatility spikes up. If you see the screen, from we have done a study from 2015 to 2023, whatever was the volatility on the 1 month before, the volatility gradually goes up, and on the budget day, 1 day before the budget, then the event comes and the volatility premium crashes. So it is good to be a buyer of options before the budget in anticipation of budget. But as the event approaches, once the event is out of the way, the volatility comes down and VIX comes down. In India, VIX is not that important because VIX is a volatility based option prices index, and higher in India we see that the compared to the global averages we have higher volatility, but it is an index which is not traded compared to the rest of the world, and that's why sometimes we see erratic movement in the VIX index, but otherwise VIX is a very good indicator for determining the fear. If there is higher fear on the market positions, usually the volatility spikes up, and that's why the VIX also goes up. So right now it is in a trading range. We don't see much volatility now, but it is expected that from now to the budget we may see this volatility spiking up. So it is better to be a buyer of options right now rather than the sellers. Post the event we can think of selling the options.
All right. So my next question would have been the same that you answered already. कि VIX को कितना importance देना चाहिए? But you told it beautifully कि VIX actually यहाँ पे trade नहीं होता है, तो limited importance the trader should give. और उसका एक स्टडी आपने दिखाया कि बजट के अराउंड VIX कैसे प्ले करता है. So now, because we talked a little bit about budget, what do you think market is expecting this year, and which are the sectors that you think we should keep eyes on?
See, this is going to be the fifth budget or the last budget of the government. The convention is that it is usually a vote on account where the long-term actions are not taken. After the elections in June, July, they will again come back with a full-fledged budget. This time it is likely to be vote on account, but we will keep an eye on it. There are some 5 key areas which are likely to be in focus in this budget. Right now the Indian capital expenditure cycle is supported by the spending from the government. We are seeing the focus on job creation. A lot of economists will focus on whether they increase or decrease the fiscal deficit, social sector schemes, and consumption areas. So these are the 4-5 different areas where we can see that there could be some announcement, but convention suggests that it is going to be more of a vote on account, and post budget, post elections around June, July, they will again come with another budget which will have long-term vision and a far-reaching actions. So this time market is not expecting much from this budget.
All right, Devarshi. So we have a lot going on right now in the market. इतनी volatility है and budget is around the corner. So what the institutions are doing? FIIs का activity कैसा है अभी?
So FIs का अगर हम एक्शन देखें तो FIs have इंडेक्स फ्यूचर्स में उन्होंने शॉर्ट बिल्डअप शुरू किया है, and gradually they have sold about 9,000 crore worth of index futures and open interest has gone up by 15,000 contracts. और जो हम एक रेशियो बहुत एक्टिवली ट्रैक करते हैं जो हमारे स्क्रीन पे है, वो FI का लॉन्ग टू शॉर्ट पोजीशन का रेशियो है. हमारे पास इंडिया में 1000 से 1500 FI एक्टिव्स है. कोई FI लॉन्ग है, कोई शॉर्ट है, पर उनकी कंबाइंड पोजीशन की हम अगर एक्टिविटीज को देखें तो नेट they were heavily short at the beginning of this January month. Their long to short ratio has reached as high as 2.28. Gradually they've covered their longs and now gradually they have become short, और अभी 0.87 जितना long to short ratio आ गया है. That means they have now more short positions than long position. और लास्ट के आप 16 जनवरी से देखें तो ड्रास्टिकल रिडक्शन इन लॉन्ग पोजीशन हुआ है. तो अभी एफआईज ने नेट शॉर्ट पोजीशन बनाई हुई है मार्केट में, तो दैट इज आल्सो वन मोर रीजन व्हाई वी नीड टू बी लिटिल कॉशियस फॉर द फेब्रुअरी मंथ.
Okay, all right. So we saw about the sectors and FIs and what the traders should be looking. So now there is one favorite question of all the traders. Looking at the volatility, what do you think this market belongs to, the option buyers or the sellers? What's your opinion, Devarshi?
So right now, looking at the volatility and looking at the positions which are there in the market, it is safe to be an option buyer right now because we have events lined up like budget, and after that general elections are also there, so there will be a lot of build up of positions. If you are a very large trader and if you can withstand the volatility, then only at lower risk levels, lower VIX level, you should short it. Otherwise, it pays to be a option buyer right now. Sonali, if you remember, in last few days, we have seen more than 1,000 point volatility in Bank Nifty, about 500 points volatility in Nifty. So at that time, if you are an option seller, you have to uh, manage your position very actively. Otherwise, you can incur heavy losses. So
Yes, yes.
in times like this where volatility is very high, it for retail investors it pays to become a buyer right now rather than a seller. When events are out of the way and when things are normal, maybe we can think of selling option and earning premiums. Right now, I would not recommend selling options. We see a lot of volatility. Events like a merger calling off leads to 20-25% kind of fall in a one particular media company. So if you had been a seller in that put option seller in those stocks, you would have incurred heavy losses. So I would not recommend small investors, traders to sell options right now. It is better to be a buyer.
Exactly. So the basic understanding behind this answer is that when you are an option seller, you face the unlimited risk, and when you're an option buyer, you have the limited risk. So जब इतने wide swings होते हैं, for example 1,000 points या 1,200 points in बैंक निफ्टी इंट्राडे में swings आ रहे हैं, तो ऐसे टाइम में option sellers को ज्यादा risk होता है to hit their stop losses, even both the sides. So which is why Devarji is suggesting that option buying right now is more preferable. So right, sir?
Right, that is correct. It is better to be option buyer right now and wait for events and wait for volatility to die down before taking a option selling calls.
Yes, right. So now coming to the main point, what are the potential trading strategies or opportunities that you want to share for the upcoming week? And also, it will be great if you can share the past 1 month or past one financial year's performance for the trading calls. That will be great.
Right. So, Sonali, there are whole stores of strategies which are available in the theory, and I've put some uh, 14 strategies which are very popular in the market. When you are bullish on the markets, and if you want to use the options, the strategies which are usually used is long call or bull spread. If you want to use it bearish strategies, maybe you can buy, put or short a call. Bear spread is very famous. When markets are range bound, we can use the straddle and strangle. And when we expect large movement, long straddle or long strangle is important. So as per our discussion, right now, if I were to employ a strategy, I would actually look at employing a straddle, long straddle, or a long strangle strategy because large movement is expected on the either side. We are little bearish on the market as I have mentioned. So among these strategies, we have issued a sell on rallies on Nifty futures around 21,635. We can gradually create a short position with a stop loss at 21,929. We expect that in the February month, we can see a target of 20,507. Another short-term trading calls which we have recently issued, the Godrej Properties Futures Short recommendation, Alchem Futures Long recommendation. So these are the levels which are available on your screen where stop loss and targets are mentioned. These are already issued recommendation by our research team. You can see the detailed report on our website. Apart from the derivatives, we have short-term momentum calls in cash and MTF recommendations. About 7 recommendations are open on the MTF side. So those people who are looking to trade on the shorter term side, on the derivative side, these are the open recommendations which you can use. The research team has been doing a fantastic job. 17 fundamental recommendations this year and 171 fundamental recommendation for the financial year. Similarly, 80 to 85% kind of success ratios are there on the index future and index option for the December month. And for financial year till now, anywhere between 55 to 70% kind of success ratio in many trading recommendations have been achieved. Two of the main categories where many clients are active, the cash trading were about 339, in e-margin about 192, while on stock futures 159 recommendations have been issued with about 70% kind of a success ratio, e-margin about 80% kind of success ratio, and the average return generated is 5.7% after interest. In e-margin in month of December, 20 recommendation, about 85% success ratio and 8.1% kind of average return after the interest costs have been achieved. So these are the various recommendations which are available. So currently about 3 on short-term trading, 1 index trading strategy, and about 6 to 7 MTF open positions are there, open recommendations are there. I would urge everybody to make use of these recommendations to employ short-term trading strategies.
All right, so these are some recommendations that the traders can look forward to. And Devarsh, because we talked a lot about the volatility and there are a lot of events that are around the corner. So do you think traders should keep in mind some of the important risk management techniques or points if you want to share something?
Right. So trading is more about discipline and it is about keeping a balanced state of mind. I see a lot of traders committing large amount of capital to 1 or 2 trades and not doing the money management portion properly. So my advice would be 3. First is you have to allocate capital depending upon your trading style to all trades equally. Commit about 2 to 3% of your capital to single trade. Have a proper entry and exit strategies. Stop loss and targets are very important in trading, and discipline is also very important. Whenever you see a trade going against you, it is better to cut your losses and let your winners run. This is the single most important factor between a successful trader and a unsuccessful trader. Most of the traders who make a lot of money in the markets, they have a success ratio about 50 to 60%. But when they earn big amount of money, and when they are wrong, they cut their losses. So it is a golden advice that you have to employ the money management and risk management strategies. Do not let 1 or 2 trades ruin your overall trading experience. If you have that discipline, we are in such a market where volumes are expanding, opportunities are increasing day by day, and there is a lot of money to be made using the derivative strategies. We must employ and have disciplined approach and disciplined approach towards trading. If we employ that, there is a lot of money to be made.
That's right. That's right. So it was a wonderful session, Devarshi, and now we are opening the floor for question and answers. So I will request the viewers to put down your questions which are related to future and options, F&O, okay? Please put down the questions in the question box and we will try to answer most of the questions. So we will wait for a minute and the viewers can put down the questions. Until then, I will take some questions which are already there. So Devarji, first question which is coming out is, will Bank Nifty cross 50,000 before the Lok Sabha elections? What do you think? It's a favorite index of the traders, so I think we have to answer this.
Correct. So Bank Nifty right now is in little bit of downturn, and post this quarterly result season, I expect it to bottom out around 44,000, 44,500 levels, and post that it will bounce back. It is unlikely to cross 50,000 levels soon, because it is one of the indexes where we have seen a lot of the selling. The performance from the private sector banks is not up to the mark of the market's expectation, and that's why we have seen a sharp correction in the bank nifty. So I would not be putting my money on bank nifty right now on a bullish side. I would wait for markets to come down, the bank nifty to come down, before taking a bullish call. Rather than taking a bullish call on bank nifty, it seems that the, as we saw on our presentation, IT and the pharma are the sectors where we can see good opportunities in the month of February. And in FNOs, it seems, it is my experience that it is better to take a monthly call rather than taking a longer term call. Right now, we should take a call for the February month. February month, once it is over, depending upon the rollover data, depending upon the positions in the market, we will take another call for the month of March. So right now, we are a little cautious on Bank Nifty.
All right, all right. So the second question is there, and the viewer is asking, based on the open interest, where is more weakness in the, if it is in Nifty or Bank Nifty? What is more weaker?
So Bank Nifty is much more weaker than the Bank Nifty, as I explained during the presentation. The higher amount of selling which we have seen is there in the Bank Nifty. Let me, yeah, so this was the chart which was presented. If you see from 48,500 levels, a sharp bearish reversal which we have seen. Now we are seeing some kind of bounce back, but around 47,000, 47,500 levels, we are again likely to encounter a lot of resistance in Bank Nifty. So compared to Nifty, where a lot of other sectors like pharmaceuticals, healthcare, and IT is likely to support, Bank Nifty is looking little more weaker than Nifty.
Yes, right. So there are a lot of viewers who are asking if the recording will be available. So I want to answer them that the recording of this session will be available on HDFC Securities YouTube channel. You can find the whole session over there. So let's move on to the next question. Is there any specific trade for tomorrow's expiry? Devarsh, sir.
So tomorrow being an expiry, we will definitely come out with the recommendation tomorrow morning. Looking at the today's derivative data, you can expect us to come out with either the expiry strategy or some derivative strategy. Right now, my view is to remain little cautious on the market. I do not want to preempt or judge the data. Whatever is the today's data after the today's action, which will be available around 7:30, we will analyze and will surely come out with a new strategy tomorrow morning. I would request the viewers to keep our research section on our web, or keep coming back to our website, or ask relationship manager, and they will be more than happy to assist you about strategies for the expiry tomorrow.
All right, so the traders have to keep eyes on the recommendations coming over tomorrow because it's Nifty's expiry. So moving on to the next question, there is a viewer who is asking that futures can be rolled over to the following month, but can options be rolled over?
So when you are rolling over any position, that means you are selling this current month's position and buying a new month's position. If you are long, suppose you are squaring off January future and you are buying the February future. So that's called a rollover of your position. Similarly, you can do it in options, but the options are compared to the futures, where the cost of carry is few percentage. Here, because it's a highly leveraged open instrument, you have to pay higher premium. So suppose a Nifty which is expiring tomorrow, if it may have a 0.5% or a 0.2% kind of a cost of carry, the next month option may have a 1.5% premium higher than the current market price. So When you are trying to sell off this option and buying another option, on future side you may not pay the higher cost of carry, but in option you have to pay the premium, and that's why the cost of rolling over your position in option must be much more costlier than the futures.
That's a wonderful answer. So there is one more question about banks. So the viewer is asking if PSU banks or the private banks, which one is better right now, looking at the technicals and all the fall that we have seen in the sector. So what is better, PSU or private banks?
So looking at the situation, I'll answer this from the quarterly results perspective. The result season is going on, and in which we have seen that the PSU companies, PSU banks have delivered numbers which are better than the market expectation. The private sector banks have actually underperformed the market expectations, and that's why when we see the bank nifty has a larger portion of private sector banks in the index, and that's why bank nifty is underperforming. So there are a couple of banks which are there in the FNO, but they are not higher in weightage in the bank nifty. They have a little lower weightage compared to the private sector banks. So I would prefer more the PSU banks, but unfortunately PSU banks are not part of the bank nifty, and that's why we will not see the kind of performance which is available or which is likely to be there in the PSU banks. So my short-term take is that PSU banks are going to outperform the private sector banks.
Yes. So Devarsh, there is one question which is related to options. So the viewer is asking how to pick a strike price in such liquid market. So I think the person wants to ask if the market is volatile and very liquid, what basis do we keep to choose the strike when we trade in the options?
So it's a wonderful question. There are two major factors which will determine which strike price to choose. First is the inherent volatility of the instrument. Bank nifty is inherently more volatile than the nifty. Say within the index, within a sector, there is one stock which has higher beta or higher volatility compared to a relatively lower volatility stock. When you are trying to choose an index or a stock, if it has higher volatility, it is better to choose out of money to a call or a put, because it is likely to be lesser in premium, lesser in cost, and it is likely to give you more profits. But if it is a steady index or if it is a steady underlying instrument, it is better to choose the near the at the money or near the at the money strikes, because if the volatility is not likely to be there in that underlying instrument, during the month you may lose your option premium. So depending upon what you are choosing in your trading, depending upon the underlying, I will choose the strike price. For example, if I'm trading Nifty, I would tend to choose the little at the money or near at the money strike price. Suppose Nifty is at 22,000 level, I am likely to choose 21,800 or 22,200. But compared to say Bank Nifty I may choose even 1,000 point higher or lower strike depending upon my view. Second important factor is the amount of bullishness or bearishness I have. If underlying instrument is likely to move 3, 4, 5% according to me within that month, it is better to choose out of money or out of money call or a put, because underlying is going to move that much. My view is that the underlying will move 3, 4%. So if I happen to choose out of money, I will make more money. But if my view is that it is not likely to move more than 1% in the next 1 month, then it is better to stick to the at the money options. Then I will be not and subjected to the option premium decay which happens with the time. So underlying instrument and my view of underlying volatility will determine the strike prices.
Right. That's a wonderful answer. So there is one more question related to options, and this is also a very good question. So the question is, as per you, which strategy is best for intraday trading in options? Which strategy suits well for intraday trading? That's what it means.
So it depends upon your own risk appetite. If you have a higher risk appetite. Intraday, usually with time, option premiums decay is there. So it is advisable to sell options, but it is a strategy which is employed by sophisticated traders, and there the risk management is very important. So if you are a sophisticated trader, or if you know your risk, then it is advisable to sell intraday depending upon your intraday view. But that strategy should not be used on a day where underlying has a results, or if there is some big event happening on that day or the next day, then the market tend to be very volatile, and if you sell options, you can lose a lot of money. So assuming that there is no big event lined up on that day or next day, intraday better to sell options. But if it is an event which is scheduled, then I think it is better to buy options.
Yes, right. So there are a few viewers who are asking, where do we get the recommendations? So I think it's about the platform.
Right. So there are various ways to get research recommendations. First is on HDFC Securities website. After you log in under the research section. Similarly, on our mobile platforms, once you log in, go over to the research section. Depending upon fundamental, derivative, and technical trading, recommendations are available. You can also become a member of HDFC Securities and get associated with a branch where relationship managers are there to help you pass on the recommendations which are available. So mobile, website, or our branches, these are the three different sectors, avenues through which you can get our recommendations. Apart from that, HDFC Securities has very vibrant social media handles on Telegram, on Twitter, on WhatsApp. There are various recommendations which are available. You can subscribe to our social media, and there you will get the recommendations from our team.
Yes, that's right. So Devarji, there is one viewer who is asking if we get the recommendations on Fin Nifty as well.
Yes, we do issue Fin Nifty recommendations as well. Compared to the Nifty and Bank Nifty, it is little less volatile and less liquid. But from time to time, whenever our analysts have a strong view, we do issue about between 4 to 5 recommendations on Fin Nifty also within the month. You can use them according to your requirements.
All right, yes. So there are a few questions about the technical analysis as well, as I can see about Fibonacci retracement and the open interest. So I would like to mention over here that this particular webinar is about the trading strategies and the opportunities, but we have under the F&O Chronicles, we have done two very nice webinars where we included the open interest and the option chain reading, as well as the basics of the charts, the candlestick pattern. So you can go and find those recordings on HDFC Securities YouTube channel. And also in the future, we have planned weekly such webinars with various other topics as well, other topics which include the technical analysis. So you can join those webinars for the extensive, explanations on such topics. So I think those are all the questions, Devashji, and it was a wonderful session. We got a lot of insights about the upcoming market, and I hope the traders can make use of it, and they will do better in next coming days in the market, right? So if you want to add anything from your side as a last comment, sir.
Yeah, so in closing, I would like to say that we have a wonderful platform. We have wonderful team which is coming out with different recommendations. I would urge everybody to go through our website, go through our trading app, and learn about this recommendation and start aggressively using our platform. Thank you, Sonali, for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, all the viewers. Thank you, Devarshi. Thank you.